The Question and Rorschach are two characters who are very connected with one another, even beyond the fact that they both belong to DC Comics. Their similarities in looks are not a coincidence, since Watchmen author Alan Moore originally wanted to use the Charlton Comics characters DC bought back in the early 80s that had the likes of The Question, but he was denied in the very last moment, so he decided to create his own interpretations of the characters. Thus, Rorschach was born. While both characters serve as detective vigilantes and have similar designs, they have very different philosophies despite having similar origins. Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko made The Question in the 60s as an allegory to moral objectivism, although future authors steered him towards different ideologies, while Rorschach has been defined as having a similar mindset when it comes to the concepts of good and evil. Now, after this lengthy introduction, you're probably wondering to yourself, who would win in a battle between The Question and Rorschach? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be exploring in this video. Now, to properly compare these two characters, we'll be going over their history, briefly I might add, their powers and abilities. So let's go ahead and dive right in. The Question was created by Steve Ditko, a comic book artist mostly known for being the co-creator of Spider-Man with Stan Lee, and he was also the creator of Doctor Strange in Marvel Comics. The Question made his debut in Blue Beetle Volume 4, Issue Number 1 in Charlton Comics, and served as a way for Ditko to explore the concept of objectivism, which was something that the author had already dealt with in another of his creations, Mr. A. Once DC Comics bought the Charlton characters, The Question went through changes, with author Dennis O'Neil giving him a more Zen-like philosophy. There have been other authors who have tried to give the character Vic Sage different ideologies, even going as far as having other characters become The Question, but none of them have had the success of Ditko and O'Neil's interpretations, which most fans consider as the definitive ones. Rorschach, on the other hand, was created by author Alan Moore for the Watchmen series and made his debut in the first issue, which was published in September of 1986. He was Walter Kovacs, a vigilante who was trying to discover a conspiracy involving the murder of the comedian, another fellow vigilante, and Moore used him as a way to disregard Ditko's objectivist ideology, which is fairly ironic in hindsight since Rorschach has been widely regarded as the series' most iconic and popular character. Other characters have taken on the mantle of Rorschach, but they never had the same level of appeal and iconic status that Walter Kovacs has had throughout the years. Both Rorschach and The Question don't have any special abilities and superpowers. They are normal street level vigilantes who have very decent fighting skills that they rely on, as well as their wits and some gadgets to be able to deal with different threats throughout their respective histories in a comic book medium. Now, in this hypothetical battle, the most likely scenario is that Rorschach is punishing a criminal, and The Question, most likely the Dennis O'Neil interpretation of the character, would try to step in to help that perform, which will result in a confrontation between these two characters. Now, despite being similar from a superficial glance, they are fairly opposite when it comes to ideology. It is fair to say that Rorschach is a much deadlier fighter and has no problem killing people, which is a key aspect of his character. Furthermore, he has shown to be capable of escaping and handling situations where he was cornered, which shows a degree of cunning and intelligence that people might not associate with him at first, thus explaining his talents as a detective as well. The Question has something that Rorschach doesn't have, and that is feats. While Vic Sage wasn't originally a part of the DC universe, he was included in the post-crisis continuity, which allowed him to connect with other characters and have a lot more under his belt in terms of feats and power scaling. This is further emphasized by the fact that the O'Neil version of The Question was trained by Richard Dragon, one of the finest martial artists in the DC universe, which gives him a considerable edge over Rorschach. He was also capable of going up against Lady Shiva, and while he lost, she is the strongest martial artist in that universe, which is something that makes him considerably stronger to his Watchman counterpart. That element also points out that The Question is better trained as a fighter, while all the materials suggest that Rorschach was self-taught, which makes him a very determined individual but doesn't give him enough against Vic Sage. That is a key element that needs to be taken into account, especially when considering that they are on a similar level when it comes to intellect. So what makes the biggest difference in this fight is how skilled they are as fighters. It will be very interesting to see interactions between The Question and Rorschach, especially if they are faithful to their most iconic interpretations. But when it comes to an actual battle, Vic Sage is going to be the winner here. He's a lot more skilled as a fighter, has been trained by some of the best martial artists in the DC universe, and can keep up with people who are certainly stronger than Rorschach, so he has to take the victory here in our opinion. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Who do you think would win in a battle between The Question and Rorschach? Let us know by leaving a comment below this video. While you're down there, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on one of our videos. Now, if you'd like any more content from us in the meantime, check out one of the 2 videos on your screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.